Some of the most interesting retail to see, I think, in my experience, is that which you stumble upon when you're just walking along the street. You're just wandering along and you happen to see something that's pretty fascinating. I was on Bleeker Street in New York a few days ago, and I happened to see this business called Whalebone. Delightfully disoriented, the window said. And then it has these magazines in the front of the window, and that kind of piqued my interest, because I know a bit about selling magazines, and I'm enjoying being in that magazine space. And so I had a look at Whalebone. I thought, I'm going to go and have a look at that shop. But before I did that, have a look at the website and who is Whalebone? What is Whalebone? Well, the website tells us that they started printing T-shirts in an old van delivering magazines around Montauk in New York. And it went from there. In 2010, it started doing the T-shirts. 2015, the magazine came along. Then they had some collabs with some pretty cool people. And so Whalebone is a shop, it's a magazine, and let's go and have a look inside. You step inside the shop and it uses some everyday items for displaying product. You've got these items displayed in ways that are unique and unusual, non-traditional. They've got this connection with music, with surf culture, and it really looks interesting and fun. It doesn't look like a shop, but it is a shop. And then on the table, just inside the front door, you've got the clothing in the background. You've got some products up the back there, backpacks and things like that. And then here you have the magazines, along with some socks and some T-shirts. And the magazines themselves really are at the heart of what Whalebone is, because these are what reach outside the shop and connect with the shopper. So yeah, Whalebone is a shop that sells magazines, but it's also a shop that sells fashion, and it does it in a really fun way. It's got these fashion items, really cool socks, really cool T-shirts, hoodies, caps, things like that. And they look pretty normal. Here's a T-shirt, but you turn the tag over, it says the answer is yes. It looks as good as it feels. So Whalebone is about very much connecting with the shopper, understanding the shopper and who the shopper happens to be. It's a really different looking shop, and it feels nothing like a traditional retail situation. This, for example, is the counter. So the counter is this really nice earthy feel. It's got a little bit of their Christmas decoration up. And then behind the counter, you can see, there are a couple of issues of the magazines. You've got some cans of soda there. You've got some caps. You get a sense for what they're selling. And I'm showing you this because this connects you with their website, where you can also buy the magazine. They sell the magazine in the store, but I wanted to include this to give you an example of how they deal with things, because the content that they're publishing in the magazine is quite timeless. This is their Dolly Parton issue. So if you were to order that right now, this is from their website today. If you order it right now, issue number 6, it's on back order. And so they've sold out of this and they're reprinting it, which is not uncommon if they find success with something that they happen to sell. And so each of these issues is done in collaboration with someone. So there's good support for the title. And it's interesting because it comes back to what Whalebone is about. And in this particular case, it's going to connect with all things Dolly Parton. But inside the shop, I thought this was really cool. There's a poster that says, "You are here." Where's here? Fantastic question. Here is Whalebone on Bleeker. Well, I knew it was on Bleeker because that's where I was. It's not a shop. And from the outset, they're telling us it's not a retail situation. It was kind of a shop, not like a shop. There's a record player, friendly neighborhood dog, a bar, and so on and so on and so on. What's interesting about this is that Whalebone does sell clothes. It does sell magazines. It does sell lifestyle fashion items, but it does it in a way that's not retail. It gives me the experience. It helps me connect with this person who gets this vibe, who feels these things, and looks at that and says, I'm home. I feel good about this situation. I feel good about this place and what it happens to be selling, because I can feel that I can enjoy myself in this situation. And so Whalebone is very much that lifestyle brand, But hey, it's got magazines at the core of what it does, which I think is fascinating. And I think one of the things that's interesting about Whalebone and that kind of retail today, and sure enough, they're in New York, they've got millions of people, so they've got population around to sustain a business like that. But hey, you talk to anybody in the Whalebone store and they'll tell you a lot of their revenue is coming from online. So the physical store is just part of their story. But it comes back to what we do in retail. It's about giving the shopper an experience that very much serves what they need out of their shopping visit, or how they see themselves, something that supports how they see themselves. And I think that's where Whalebone really lands itself very well. It knows who its customer is going to be, and it provides a shopping experience that very much fits with that. Now, where we might have stores in situations that don't have quite the same population, it's a challenge. And, it's a difficult situation. But I think Whalebone and stores like that provide us with things that we can reflect on and consider as we build our own businesses. I think we're in an era right now where the boundaries between types of retail businesses are very blurred, and what constitutes retail has changed significantly. And so retail today really can be all different sorts of things. It goes back to the poster that Whalebone has in their store. It's a shop, but it's not a shop. And so I think when we create our own stores, we shouldn't feel bound by or constrained by how we see a shop being today. And I think that's what I found really interesting. I love looking at interesting retail. I love seeing how people are playing with the form. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for us in our local small business retail settings to do that ourselves. I come away from a trip like this looking at retail, realizing that we've got more flexibility in what we do and how we do it, maybe than we've given ourselves credit for over the years. I hope you found visiting Whalebone briefly interesting. If you're ever in New York, I'd say go and have a look at the store. It's really well worth it. Yes, I did buy some things there, and I'm really happy with that. I like the shop a lot, and I found it inspiring. Thanks for watching.